Inspirational story on propensities and achievement. 10 principles of accomplishment. Achievement isn't a consequence of karma or unexpected accomplishments. It is the result of steady propensities, assurance, and concentration. Fruitful individuals follow specific rules that put them aside. This story features the excursion of a young fellow who changed his life by embracing 10 standards of progress. Allow it to motivate you to fabricate propensities that will lead you toward your fantasies. Hello and Rule 1. Wake up early. The elderly person told John. Getting up early gives you an early advantage. The early morning hours are calm and ideal for reflection and efficiency. John started getting up at 5 a.m. consistently. He utilized an opportunity to design his day, exercise, and read inspirational books. Gradually, he saw his days turned out to be more coordinated and useful. Illustration. Achievement starts when you discipline your mornings. Rule 2. Set clear goals. Without a goal, you will wander sporadically. The older individual said, make your targets and break them into little advances. John recorded his fantasies. To breeze through his tests, get a decent line of work, and carry on with a significant life. He broke every objective into day-to-day activities. For instance, he went through 2 hours every day reading up for his tests. Example. A reasonable vision provides motivation to your activities. Welcome. This is your text-to-voice generator speaking. Rule 3. Build a strong routine. John understood his days were squandered without structure. The elderly person encouraged him to make a day-to-day daily schedule. Accomplishment depends on nearly nothing. Consistent exercises repeated reliably. John made a normal that included review time, work, exercise, and self-improvement. In no time, he felt more in charge of his time. Illustration. Consistency in your day-to-day schedule fabricates the underpinning of progress. Rule 4. Focus on learning. Productive people advance continually, said the old man. Understand books, center around guides, and gain from each slip-up. John started perusing one book consistently on personal development, achievement, and initiative. He additionally acquired new abilities to further develop his work possibilities. Example. Ceaseless learning makes the way for potential open doors. Rule 5. Surround yourself with positive people. Pessimistic individuals channel your energy. The elderly person cautioned, encircle yourself with individuals who mix and spur you. John quit investing energy with companions who questioned him and began to partner with the individuals who had comparable objectives and dreams. Their energy kept him spurred. Example. Your current circumstance impacts your prosperity. Rule 6. Take care of your health. Your body is your most noticeable asset, said the older individual. Eat well, work out consistently, and rest enough. John began practicing day-to-day, eating good dinners, and resting 7 to 8 hours consistently. He felt more grounded, more keen, and more vivacious. Example. Physical and psychological well-being are fundamental for progress. Rule 7. Take action every day. The elderly person accentuated. Dreams possibly work out as expected when you make a move. Begin now, regardless of how little the step. John made a guarantee to make something like one move toward his objectives consistently. Whether it was examining, learning, or working, he pushed ahead reliably. Illustration. Little day-to-day activities make large accomplishments over the long haul. Rule 8. Develop discipline. Inspiration blurs. However, discipline makes a big difference for you. The elderly person made sense of. Do what ought to be done, regardless, when you don't feel like it. John figured out how to concentrate on any event. When he was worn out, appear for work on time and stay away from interruptions. Discipline turned into his superpower. Illustration. Discipline is the scaffold among objectives and achievement. John's transformation. Years after the fact, John got back to a similar park where he had met the elderly person. He was presently a fruitful expert, monetarily stable, and regarded by his friends. As he sat discreetly, another young fellow moved toward him and inquired, "Sir, how might you be so settled while I feel like my life is self-destructing?" John grinned and answered, "Your life is a consequence of your propensities. Address your propensities, and you will completely change you." He then shared the 10 principles of accomplishment, similarly as the elderly person had accomplished for him. Rule 9. Overcome fear of failure. Disillusionment isn't an opposite thing to advance. It is fundamental for progress, said the old individual. Acquire from disillusionment and keep on moving. John bombed his most memorable prospective employee meeting. However, rather than surrendering, he investigated his slip-ups and worked on his planning. He before long got some work at a respectable organization. Example: each disappointment is an amazing chance to develop. Rule 10. Never give up at last. The elderly person said, achievement doesn't work out by accident, more or less. Continue onward, and you will arrive. John confronted many difficulties, yet he helped himself to remember the elderly person's words. He remained diligent, really buckled down, and at last accomplished every one of his objectives. Example: determination transforms dreams into the real world. The story of John. From failure to success, John was a normal young fellow who battled with life. He bombed his tests, couldn't keep a task, and had no bearing. At some point, following an especially troublesome day, John sat in the recreation area feeling miserable. He saw an elderly person sitting discreetly, watching birds fly. The man's quiet attitude charmed him. John drew nearer and said, "Sir, how might you take a gander and settle while I feel like my life is self-destructing?" The older individual smiled and replied, "Youthful individuals. Accomplishment shows up at individuals who follow positive schedules reliably. Your life is an outcome of your penchants. Work on your affinities, and you will totally transform you. Might you at any point show me how?" John asked enthusiastically. The elderly person gestured and shared 10 guidelines of accomplishment that John chose to observe. These standards changed his life until the end of time.